Catalyst Event Coaching, we believe in inclusive events. And one of those areas that we like to focus on is dietary restrictions and foods at your event. And so with it, I encourage all of my clients to always ask for dietary restrictions whenever they're doing a registration form and inviting their attendees to come to the event, allowing them the opportunity to provide exactly what their dietary restrictions are. It could be an allergy, but it could just be a preference, whether it's living a healthy lifestyle or perhaps something that may be religious based. And so with that, you may get back a variety of things. And I recall this one particular conference, and we were at a hotel and we had box lunches. It was one of the first events of that particular conference, kicking off with a meal, and we were setting up with the hotel, and the group had not taken a break quite yet. So we were still in the middle of setup, and we had a few special dietary box lunches, and we were still in setup mode. Someone from my team runs over to me to let me know that one of those dietary restrictive box lunches had already been taken. And we had identified most of our dietary restriction individuals, who they were, what they looked like, so that we can ensure that they get their meals. But this particular meal had not been identified quite yet. We were so early in the conference, and someone got the meal. I went to approach that person just to make sure it was the right person having the meal, because the group had not broke out for this particular meal. And in approaching that person, I realized that it was not the person that the meal was created for. And they had the same exact needs. This particular person had maybe about 4 different restrictions that they had for their particular meal. So it was peculiar that someone would even take that particular meal. And in having that conversation, turns out that person that took the meal never actually filled out on the form about having any dietary restrictions, but they were so excited and elated that we had an option for them. They were like, oh my gosh, this must have been made just for me, although we didn't have that information before. And luckily we caught it in such an early phase of the conference that we were able to get with our hotel and let them know that we had changes for dietary restrictions, which is really good to do after you have your registration process. Always double check with your attendees to see if there's any needs that may have changed since they initially did their registration, as well as just maybe they forgot to mention. And so we were able to accommodate this individual for all the meals going forward, and we didn't have any issues. But you want to always encourage that during the registration process. My own mother rarely ever tells anyone about her dietary restriction, but it's such an easy fix for her that she doesn't think about it, so she doesn't find a need to do it. But make sure you always do that so that people can take care of you. And sometimes it's really not that difficult to achieve it, but it helps when we know in advance so that we can appropriately order the food items and prep them.